July, Tuesday. So I'm in debt. I may or may not have blown all of my money and then on some on OF request. Look, it's not my fault the videos are so good. Now I'll do it with the Twisted Wizard costume. $1,000. Okay. Sophie Gain. Bruh. Anyways, there might be hope. Some dude in the alley gave me $500 for winning a children's game. Here you go, man. Really? He also gave me his business card for if I wanted to win more. So yeah, I'm definitely attending that. I just have to be somewhere at 11 o'clock tonight and someone should pick me up. I'm all set and waiting now. Hopefully they let me keep my journal. Day 1. I just woke up not too long ago. Don't really remember much from last night. I think they knocked me out and drove me here. I've seen a lot of people I know here already though. There is my entire family, Rowley, and seemingly everyone from my school. Don't even want to know how Manny got into debt. There's a good chance he's just here to bully us. Flipping idiot. Here is my full list of all the players I recognize. Mom, Dad, Manny, Roderick, Rowley, Chirag, Fregley, Ruby Bird, Albert Stanley, Alex Aruda, Mr. Jefferson, Mrs. Jefferson, Bill. There might be more too that I just missed. But I don't know what I have to do to win. But I'm telling you, I will. Anyways, the first game is starting soon, so I better get going. Holy crap, this game is not going to be easy. Let me calm down and explain. So there is about 456 players in this. For the first game, we were led into this big open room. In this room, there was this massive robotic door on the other side. It turns out we were playing red light, green light. I mean, that crap was an easy dub, but some guy ran in front of everyone and started screaming nonsense. I've played these games before, guys. Unfortunately for him, he was screaming too loud that he didn't even realize the game started. I said I've played. They flipping shot him. Everybody flipping panicked, and about half of them started running. Now I was scared too, but even Manny knew that was a terrible idea. Eventually the door called green light and we started moving. This is when I noticed there was a time limit. I had to get my app moving. There was no time to waste. Eventually, I got near the end, but someone's dumb ass body tripped me. Luckily, Raleigh ended up catching me and narrowly saving me. Red light. Thanks to me not being a fat flip, he was able to hold me until it called green light, and we made it with a few seconds to go. And from what I could tell, no one I recognized died. Even though no one I recognized died, a lot of us did. Over half, in fact. People were begging to leave, saying they can't take it anymore. You wouldn't imagine how quick their begs faded when they showed the prize. They added $1 million per death. Not one soul wanted to leave after that because they are all in here with me for a reason. Debt. So obviously, we are now all going to sleep waiting on the next game. Day 2. Alright, so today's game was called Dalgona. Basically, you got a tin with a cookie, and the cookie had a half pressed in shape. The goal of this game was to cut out the shape, but he handed out random shapes to everyone, so you can't pick an easy one. And just my luck, I got a flipping umbrella. According to Rowley though, it could have been worse. People were dying left and right. Alex Aruda's smarts didn't translate to precision, and Fregley's dumb ass straight up ate the cookie. Second chance? But I had to focus on the task ahead of me, the umbrella. I was making little to no progress, and there was a time limit on this game. Also, but then it hit me. Sugar dissolves in water. That means I could start licking the cookie to make it much easier to carve out. No, please, ever. And with seconds to spare, I pushed out the cookie. Everyone started picking up on my strats, but it was already too late. Anyways, when I got back to my bunk, by some miracle, Raleigh survived. Raleigh looked pretty shaken up because his mom got star, cracked it, and was shot right in front of him. He had his bags packed and was ready to leave, but unfortunately for Raleigh, needed a majority vote to end the games, and there was no chance that was happening. So Riley's only option was to sit down with us for a meal and try to survive the whole thing. But for dinner, we only got a single potato and some water. Albert Sandy says that they give us less on purpose so we would fight. B. It's true, I tell you, it's true. As far as I know, he could be right. So I decided to try and team up with Rowley and we will take shifts watch. Lights out. It turns out Albert Sandy was right. As soon as the lights turned off for the night, people started fighting. It's hard to tell what's going on. It's dark, and me and Riley are hiding under a bark bed. But I think Maddie's going to town. Yeah. That was Manny's guy, just flipping and punched a hole through this guy. That mother flipper looks like Chucky, slashing around and killing everyone. Eventually, the guards finally stepped in and separated us, but the damage was done. Over 20 people died, and even more were injured. I think I only saw Ruby Bird and Shirag die, or at least those were the ones I only recognized. I think we should be safe for the rest of the night. Day 3. Okay, today's game was a little confusing, so stick with me. So they led us into a room as always, but in this room there was a giant merry-go-round. Basically, you would go around and they would call a random number, and you had to go into a room with that exact amount of people. I knew from the start it was going to be hard because people are stupid and selfish. It was only 3 rounds though. The first round, 3 was called. I just got with mom and dad, but let me tell you this, I will not want to be someone who didn't find the room. No, please! After they cleaned up all of the bodies, they finally let us out for round 2. 2 was called, and some purple-haired flip tackled me away from Rowley. Greg! I'll be honest, I panicked a little. There was only about 10 seconds left when I saw flipping Grandpa there, which I didn't even know he was here, so I went with him. Unfortunately, Grandma was also here, but I guess I didn't see her. But Gregory, I made you cookies, boy. Let's just say it didn't end well for her. While they were cleaning up the bodies though, I learned a lot about Grandpa. Apparently he had been hiding from us on purpose because he doesn't trust anyone. He also thinks a certain few in our family would be liabilities. You see that little Manny boy there? He's just gonna sell you out, Greg. You better slime him when you get a chance, boy. Honestly though, that crap is smart, so I agreed to not tell anyone he was here. Especially since everyone in my family is still alive. Next round went by quickly though. It was 4, and I went with Mom, Dad and Roderick, and that was it. At dinner, they gave us a little more food today, but a fight might still break out. I'm trying to create a list of dynamics, so I don't get caught in anything. This is all I have so far. Day 3. Okay, so there was another fight last night, but it was so dark, nobody noticed me on the top bunk. So obviously, I survived the night. Anyways, next game is starting soon, so I better get going. Okay, for today's game, we had to work in partnerships. They all led us into a big white room to pick our teammates, and Grandpa's cover was blown. Dad, why didn't you say anything, boy? Dad didn't actually care too much. I think he's just waiting for him to kick over so he gets his inheritance. Anyways, we had a few minutes to pick a partner. I actually picked Grandpa because some of the games you had to be smart to win. We'll be unstoppable, sonny boy. For the other teams, it was Mom and Dad, Rowley and his dad, Roderick and Bill, and Maddie was some other kid that somehow got into debt. You bees are going down. Jeez, that was terrible. Anyways, they led us into another room that looked like an old neighborhood and explained the game. But it turns out it wasn't one game, it was any game. Basically, they gave us 10 marbles and the goal was to get your partner's marbles in a non-violent way. We quickly realized what this meant. Grandpa! It means that only one of us is getting out alive. Could have been worse though. I mean, Mom and Dad were partners. What? But I first had to focus on beating Grandpa, since we could choose any game. I suggested a game called Whose Name is Greg, but he didn't like that game. Bull crap, boy. Eventually, we settled on odds or evens, which is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't explain it. But Grandpa was winning every round. It would also take forever because after every round he would reminisce on his past. My old neighborhood looked just like this, Greg, boy. I tell you, boy. And he kept winning and winning and winning until I was down to my last marble. He had to be cheating, but he denied it. No, I'm not cheating, boy. It was bad, and the clock was running out. But then, I thought of something. Wait, there's a way we can both win. Really? How, boy? We can get other teams' marbles. Just give me your marbles to split evenly. Alright, boy. I lied. I had zero intention of ever following that plan. So when he gave me his marbles, I took them and filled his bag with rocks. I told him to look for people on the left side. I'm not proud of it. I will have this decision stuck in my head for the rest of my life. His gunshot echoed louder than all the others. Gregory! Gregory! Where are you? I'm done with this side. When I got back, everyone else was done, and they looked pretty sad too. Dad, Roderick, Manny, and Rowley made it, but none were in good shape. Heck, Roderick was in his bunk and said nothing the rest of the night. Anyways, people probably won't risk a fight today since there's only 2 games left. Day 5. Okay, so today's game was flipping insane. First, they led us into a white room again, but this time to pick numbers 1 to 16. Manny's dumb ad picked 2, which I knew would be a dumb ad move. Roderick picked 12, and Dad picked 13. Albert Stanley picked 14, I picked 15, and Riley picked 16. Anyways, after we picked our numbers, they led us into a huge tall room with what looked to be a bridge going to the other side. Apparently, it was a bridge going to the other side, but there were 2 towers of glass on each side. One would be strong enough to hold a person, and the other, you fell to your death. I was never so happy to be lost in something. Anyways, the guy who went first obviously died instantly. Next up was Manny. Oh boy, was I happy that this pretty much meant certain death for him. But it turns out his little eye was too light to break even the weak glass, so he hopped his jolly eye to the end real quick. Let's just say the people in front of me weren't so lucky. Finally, we were near the end and Roderick was up, but after only 1 jump, he said he wasn't jumping any further. This is exactly what happened in that live action Squid Game show. Heck no, boy. You better go ahead if you want to roll. He was just standing there as time was running out, and finally, Dad did something. He sacrificed himself to take out Roderick. The only problem was he tackled him to the side, not taking out any panels. Beep. Luckily, there were only 2 panels to go. But then, Albert Sandy got on his knees and tried to examine the glass. Wait, I studied glass in science class. Trust me, I got this. Unfortunately, I don't think he did. Now there was just 1 piece of glass between me and the end, so I took a leap of faith and chose right. So with seconds to spare, me and Riley both made it to the end. Then, I saw Manny sitting there, just having a grand old time. I mean, that kid had an easy freebie. I mean, that's not fair, right? So I punted that little mother flipper down to his death. But then, Riley started crashing out. Manny! I don't know what was going on between those two, but if I had to guess, it was purely a relationship, because there was no way anyone could have liked that little crap. Then he started charging at me. Luckily, the guards caught him though, and they escorted us back to our bunks. I'll flipping kill you, Greg. You'll pay for this. And when we got back, there was a fancy table set up for me and Rowley. Apparently, this was their way of congratulating us for making it this far. And while I was busy eating the best meal of my entire life, Rowley over there was staring me down. So finally, I finished my meal and they collected their plates. Then they left 1 thing on the table for me and Rowley. It was pretty clear what they wanted us to do for the final game. Thankfully though, I doubt they'll let him fight me because they still need a game tomorrow. Day 6. Again, no fight. Anyways, next game is starting soon. Oh boy, today was something. So for the final game, the routine didn't change much. They got us up and escorted us to the next game. But Riley kept staring me down, and it was pure hatred in that flipper's eyes. It was kind of freaking me out, I can't lie. Anyways, the actual game was some old Japanese game or something. I mean, no way kids were playing that crap. Because even after explaining, I had no idea how to play. But from what I got, basically boils down to 1 thing. Kill each other without stepping outside of an octopus or something. I thought I dove for sure. Wait, I thought for sure I was cooked. I mean, Rowley is a big boy. And by that, I mean absolute fat. So all he would have to do is sit on me. I had to think of something. Then, the guy shot a blank to start the final game. Right when the shot went off, Rowley came out swinging. Ka-chow! It wasn't long before that fat had me on the ground. Then he started ranting. Why did you make me do this? Think, Greg. You've outlasted every fragile and significant being in your life. You've lived to see them crumble to dust and blow away. Everyone and everything you know is gone. Open your eyes and look at what you've done, Greg. They're all dead. What will you have after these games? You, Rowley. I'll still have you. No, we can still stop this. I guess he was touched by my speech, because he then went up to the guy trying to stop the game so we could both survive. Unfortunately for Rowley, he was too busy arguing to realize I came up behind him with a knife. We want to end it. The kid was dead in seconds. That was really the last thing I remembered. I then woke up on the side of the road with my belongings and a card with $456 million. I was rich. To celebrate, I went to my favorite place. I was so rich that I started throwing money around. Eventually, though, that got boring, so I went to the roulette. I decided to put all of my money on black just for fun, and I flipping won. 12 black. I was ecstatic, but if you really think about it, double was nice, but think about doubling that. So I did the only logical thing. I put it on black again. 2 red. Flip.